right there, Latin 2. Finally, we get to the vocab of it, or not the vocab, the grammar of everything. So if you turn to page 43 and 42, that will be what I'll have you read afterward. And there's a nice little chart up there at the top of 43. Go ahead and copy that chart down real quick. All right, you've copied it down. So now I will teach you the lesson that goes with it. So what we're talking about today is the passives, but for the other side of your columns, right? So we've already done present, imperfect, and future. Now we're going to do perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect. It is way easier. You don't have to memorize aorist, tour, murmunian, tour, or anything like that. You just have to take what you have already done, which is memorize the fourth principal part, and then you're going to add things to it. So the perfects, right? They keep the tense the same. Okay, it translates as was loved, had been loved, or will have been loved. Okay, and you finally get to use the fourth principal part. So just for review, the present tense in the perfect is I am loved. The imperfect is I am being loved. Very important. The future is I will be loved. The perfect, I was loved. See, there's a difference between that and the imperfect. The pluperfect, I had been loved. And the future perfect, I will have been loved. Okay, so that's what that is. Now, here's how you conjugate the perfects. Okay, this is true for all of them. So step one, take the fourth principal part. Now 1A, make sure that it matches the subject, number, case, and gender. Okay, because it is a participle, which means it is a verb acting like an adjective. Which means that it has to modify its noun and it has to match the noun in number, case, and gender. Step two, add on the present or the imperfect or the future of essay, and then floss. And that's literally all that it is, okay? It's just those steps. So if you need that again, rewind a little bit and pause it. But essentially, if you look at that chart on page 43, it's portatus a sum. Portatus aum es, right? So that's I was carried. Portatus aum eram, I had been carried. Portatus aum ero, I will have been carried. That's all you're doing, is you're just making it a two-word verb. Let me give you a couple examples in Latin, okay? The pueria matre amati sunt. Now, look what I did. I took the fourth principal part, amatus, and then I matched it, number, case, and gender, to pueri, my subject. So it's masculine, it's plural, it's nominative. And then I added on sunt. That is the present tense of sum esse, right? So this means the boys were loved by the mother. That also means it's not true anymore. Either she's dead or they've done something terrible, okay? Now, the next one. Puellae a patre amatai erant. Again, I matched it in number, case, and gender to the subject. Feminine, plural, nominative. And then I added on erant, which is the imperfect of esse, which means it's the pluperfect. Okay? So, the girls had been loved by the father, which makes it even more tragic, right? And then the very last one, the baculum a puero iactum erit. So, fourth principal part, iactus aum. I matched it number, case, and gender to baculum, so neuter, singular, neuter, singular, nominative. Okay, so the beating wand will have been thrown by the boy. That's how it works. It's very, very easy. Okay, so now you know double the forms that you knew from last year, quite honestly, because you know all of your, well, double minus 2, because you still know your commands, but you don't know them in the passive. We'll get there. So now what I want you to do is read pages 42 and 43, and then I want you to do exercise 32D and turn that into me. 32D, they give you duxit, and you're going to turn it, you're going to look at that, and you're going to be like, okay, you parse it first. That is third person, singular, active, perfect, and we're going to say indicative. You're going to write that in, okay? So duxit, you write all that next to it. Now, underneath it, you're going to write, and you get to choose the gender on this one, but I'm going to say ducta est. And then next to that, I'm going to say third person, plural, passive, perfect, indicative. I'm also going to translate it. Okay, so duxit meant she led. Ducta est, she was led. So you're going to parse and translate, then give the passive, parse and translate for 1 through 9 on that, and then you're going to turn that into me. Then when you're done with that, I want you to go ahead and do 32b and 32c. Okay, so 32b, Servus nomine Pseudolus in forum missus est. The slave, named Pseudolus, was sent into the forum. Done. Okay, but first you did all that parsing, right? Now you're going to do that. Then in 32c, you got to pick the right one. Okay, so blank matre vocata erat. Here's where you can use the participles to give you some clues. Vocata, feminine singular nominative. Okay, and I know it's feminine singular nominative because erat is singular. So I'm going to look at my choices, Ancilla, Liberi, and Euclides. Ancilla is the only one that's feminine singular nominative. So Ancilla a matre vocata erat. The handmaiden had been called by the mother. So I'm going to highlight Ancilla, right? And then I'm going to translate underneath. So you did all the parsing for 32D to prepare you for 32B and 32C. If you want to parse for those two as well, you can. It's good practice, but I'm not going to be looking for it. So do 32D, send that to me. Then do 32B and C and send that to me. Okay? Cool. All right, I'm going to hit the button.